Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. My apologies for the lateness, everyone. It ain't even 30. It's late. We were 15 minutes late. Oh man, yeah, we're late. We're late. Right. My apologies. Talking about apologies, appreciation and apologies. I apologize for being late all the time. Um, so y'all see the title. Hopefully y'all check the links out in the description box. Okay, we can turn out. Yeah. So appreciation and apologies. Um, you know, let's start off with the appreciation. So shout out to Passport OG. Shout out to all my subscribers. Everyone that listens, everyone that frequents the page. I appreciate it. Um, I appreciate all of you, the PhDs, um, Dr. T, Dr. Thunder, Dr. Green Gorilla, um, Dr. Ron O'Neill, Dr. Dunbar, right? All the PhDs that um, I see in my chat sometimes. Um, First of all, they're carrying our voice. They're sanitizing our voice, carrying our voice. Thank you. Um, and I know it's not easy. I know there's mud being slung on you. I know people are trying to label y'all all type of misogynist and sexist and anti-black woman and anti-black and all of it, right? All of it, of course. But I appreciate y'all, and I really want to stress that. Um, so there's that. Y'all give Z a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. So yeah, so I really want to stress that how much um I in particular appreciate all everyone that chills with Z, talks to Z, frequents the page, is subscribed. And I so I was wondering because my subscriber numbers started going up and I'm like, how the hell I got this many subscribers all in, a few days. And so I checked Mr. I said Mr. I checked BGS his post and I was like, okay, yeah, but I don't think that's the reason. And then I'm checking around and by the way, it's so obvious because it was punching me in the face and I checked my mentions and it was Passport OG, right? And shout out to Passport OG, but hopefully he'll hear this. And and everyone, I think Dr. Thunder, I think the Raj Report, because I get special privileges over there. I ain't even gonna lie. And shout out to Dr. Thunder. When Dr. Thunder drops a link just for me, and it's humbling. It really is. And I want Dr. Thunder to understand, like when I say that, I'm not just saying it. I really mean it from the bottom of Z's heart, right? From the right. So um and even and same thing for the Raj Report. So I just really want to stress the appreciation. Um and it is triggered by Dr. I said, well, Dr. Thunder, yes, but Passport OG, the Raj Report, and I'm telling y'all, the Raj Report is like the Raj Report is really working in the background, y'all. Like he really is putting things together and attempting to put things together in the background. Um, yeah, right. So y'all don't sleep on that, brother. Yeah. So I really want to stress that, right? Um, Gabrielle says we reckless again. No, not right now. Not right now. We're not reckless, right? So shout out to all of you actually, and I really want to stress that. So that's the appreciation part. Once again, really appreciate Passport OG, and just everyone who subscribed to Z, um, and everyone. Shout out to Ed, obviously BGS, Black Uru, right? Yeah, and I hear the random compliments sometimes on other people's channels. I hear Z being mentioned randomly. Um, Shout out to y'all who will send me the link and be like, Z, you should have been here, or Z, I was expecting you to pop up, right? Um, yeah, shout out to all of you, right? And it truly is humbling. Um, Shout out to Better You, right? All the brothers that are pressing me. Shout out to Toya, Kareem, all the brothers that are pressing me to go back to school. I'm working on it, right? I'm working on it. Um, so there's that. All right, the apology. My apology, and it seems Nema is still in here. It's actually to Nema, right? So, I caught myself being short and curt with Nema. And Nema said something, and he was right. He was like, "Y'all keep on cutting me off," and like, when someone says something, you kind of blow them off. You're like, "Yeah, whatever." And so I was listening to the previous couple streams I did on the panel. I was like, "Oh yeah, we are cutting Nema off." Right? So it's actually specifically directed to Nema. It's really directed to all of you for excuse me, for Mr. Z's tardiness and lateness. Um, excuse me. Y'all already know, the reckless streams and much of the reason why Mr. Z be late. We ain't gonna say it in the comments, but I just want to apologize for it still, um, which is what happened tonight, obviously. But I still want to apologize for that, but specifically to Nema, right? So it really is. I realize. So, Nema is long winded, and definitely when we're on the expressway of the conversation, we'll go off on the exit, but we're on the we're on the access road next to the expressway, right? And when you let Nema talk, Nema go all in the weeds, all in the neighborhoods, and I get it, clarification, etc., etc. So that's why I usually push Nema further back on the when I'm like, okay, you go next, such and such, you go next, such and such, you go next, and I'll put Nema in the back. And I realize I do that, and then we'll cut him off, right? Like 30 seconds into what he's saying, 15 seconds into what he's saying. I'm not even. It don't be a minute. I'm not even gonna lie. It's not even 60 seconds. So I definitely want to stress the apology and shout out to Trell too, because Trell, shout out to Trell with the Dr. Z. Trail, I'm not writing no book. Trail, if y'all lucky, y'all get Mr. Z master's degree, maybe law school. That's even a stretch. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't even but PhD, Z writing a book, yeah. A children's book that's like 15 pages long. But a book, yeah, nah. Nope. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, right? I have passion for things. I care about the upliftment of Black people. Yes, that includes Black women, the relationship between Black men and Black women. Um, Obviously, I care about. I could expound on and write a book on the 18-point plan. Right. Shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Um, but Jesus Christ, a book. Talking about T, I didn't even know he was here. He said, "What's good? What's going on, Doctor T?" God, this is why you don't talk crap about people behind their back. You never know who's listening. You never know when someone's listening, who's listening. Right? So, and Toya says, "Point is, we support your passion for growth, Z. Thank you, Toya. Right, man. But yeah, so but yeah, the apology is definitely directed mainly to Neymar. Um, and like I said, I caught myself. I re-listened, and so if y'all ever caught me, and I've said this a couple of times to some folks on BGS's channel. When I get impatient with them, I'm like, "Do y'all ever listen to the replays and hear how y'all sound?" And Mr. Zena take his own advice because I did listen. I was like, "Oh yeah, we do. We cutting Neymar off. Oh boy, he's right. We do cut him off, right?" And he's like, "I'm long with it because y'all cut me off." And I re-listened to the stream and I was like, "Oh, he right." Right. So though that's where the apology is coming in from. So the appreciation is for everyone. The apology is to everyone, but the appreciation was really triggered by Passport OG, but it's for a lot of people. Too many to list. But like I said, the Roger Report, Passport OG, Dr. Thunder, just too many people to list. Shout out to Toya. Um, and then same thing with the apology. Y'all know Mr. Z set these times and life be life in. And every once in a while, I'm a couple minutes early, but really I'm either pretty much on time or late. That's really how it goes. Um, and so I just want to make sure that we spend some time covering that and So I just want to shout out the people that I'm apologizing to, but definitely the people that I appreciate. Um, so yeah, so let's get into the other links. So shout out to Vince, um, Vincent Von Doom, who sent me the link of Life with Bree, young lady. We've heard her speak before. She gives me the young Ostefko vibes, and what's interesting about Life with Bree is she is such a Gen Z doomer black woman. I don't mean that necessarily as a pejorative or as a slight to her, but she is so Gen Z if you ever did meet a Gen Z young person, right? The existential dread, the existential crisis, the existentialism, right? And she is so Gen Z black woman to death, right? Oh man, just your standard, not necessarily hood, around the way Gen Z black woman. I was gonna sit with a pinch of doomer with a whole smattering of doomer. And shout out to that young lady. She covers interracial relationships, and there's a lot of you can't help who you love type of talk. Um, there's the where is this kind of regression when we see or how we speak of interracial relationships. Bree was speaking on, this kind of regression that she's noticing. um she plays a few clips of young people speaking on interracial relationships, and you know once again, you can't help who you love type talk, and I want to push back on that. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, yes, you can. Z, you were stuttering. No, I wasn't. Right? Yes, you can help who you love. Love is a choice. Who you love is a choice. Yeah, that whole falling in love stuff, yeah, it's real ish. But yeah, you can help who you love. Ladies, if you out here saying who wants to be with average anyway, oh, Z, you going there. Yes, I am. With a rocket booster on. Huh? If you out here calling certain men, black men, dusties as a racial slur, uh oh. If you have a financial requirement on relationships and intimacy, uh oh. And coupling, you are exhibiting that you actually can help who you love. Uh oh. Huh? Yes, you can help who you love. You can help who you fall in love with. You can help who you find attractive. Yes, you can. Now, linking that to the racial element of it all. Oh, yeah, you better believe it. And I should have linked it. It's going to be linked. Um, we already know from multiple scholars, researchers, that the ideal man, at least in the West, definitely in America, is white men. Uh oh. Huh? It's white male patriarchy. See, much of the left is skittish about speaking to women about their like worship of white male patriarchy, particularly women of color, quote unquote marginalized groups. You could phrase it however you want. You could rename it however you want. White male patriarchy, huh? White men's masculinity, the envy of white women, and it's not just black women that envy white women. The myth of white womanhood, it's not just black women who subscribe to the myth of white womanhood, huh? So if we have Dr. Jennifer Lundquist, Dr. Chantel Buggs, yes, women, right? If you have Dr. Marcia Inhorn speaking about hypergamy, If you have the, oh my god, how did I forget her name? The other PhD that was on Black Girls Texting podcast, Black woman, right? All of these are women speaking about hypergamy, speaking about leveling up, speaking about divesting, speaking about white men and white male patriarchy that women of color subscribe to. Uh-oh. Huh? You can help who you love. You can help who you're attracted to. And what we see based off the numbers is that women are attracted to a certain performance of manhood and masculinity. To hell with your feelings and how much you cringe, dear women, mainly women of color, when we mention that y'all essentially want white men or men of your same demographic or men who are not white men, other men, but that all move like elite white men for the most part. Yes, that includes even some of you supposed leftist women. Uh-oh. Huh? Huh? So, to Life with Bree, all those clips you were playing, interracial relationships, etc., it's very clear. Number one, out of all marriageable age black women, somewhere between 4 to 6% are married interracially. Are we saying only 4 to 6% of black women have ever had sex interracially? If love is love, and you can't help who you marry, and you can't help who you find attractive, and you can't help who you love, etc., then why do we see only 4 to 6% of black women are married interracially? Out of marriageable age black women. Once again, we're not controlling for only married black women. When you control for only married black women, that's when it's 12 or 13%. Huh? So life would breed this conversation about interracial relationships, particularly concerning people of color. A lot of this is political. As a matter of fact, especially in America, who you marry, who you present, for women, who you take the last name of, for men, who you give your last name to. Well, I guess if you're progressive, super progressive, y'all ain't really exchanging last names like that, but okay. Who you walk through this world with, who you make a covenant with, who you sign a legal marriage document with, who you told the state that you are responsible for as a wife or as a husband. This is why they don't let spouses take the stand against each other in that way. Marriage is very political. And so, as a person of color, particular a woman of color, who you are marrying, white men, who you're aspiring to be with, white men, says a lot. It's not this little surface level thing that many of you are subscribing to. Oh, you can't help who you love. All this Disney esque. Grow up, people. Huh? So, yes, you can help who you love. And yes, interracial marriages and relationships are very political. And no, you're not going to fix anti blackness or any type of isms, racism, sexism, etc., with interracial sex. Stop it. Grow up. Huh? Shout out to all the people who keep on lying to themselves. that your interracial relationship is just a little knife, it's a little dagger in anti-blackness or anti whatever your background is. Stop. It is not, nor will it ever be. And because what's beautiful about social media and the internet is that we're letting people talk. What we're finding is that a number of people of color, namely the women, are perfectly okay with being married to and having sex with racist ass men, white men. Huh? It's not a given that you'll find a very racist, anti black man and he doesn't have a black spouse. Y'all notice Mr. Z didn't say a black woman, right? Uh oh. Some of you brothers are being the bottom from some racist ass white dudes. I said what I said. Huh? The open kept secret is a number of women of color, are in relationships, situationships with racist white men. And there's stories about this. Huh? So Bree, into all the clips that you had on your channel or on that video of yours, that think piece, that feel piece of yours. Shout out to Indigo Flow. So all the women and the just random people playing down racism and anti-blackness and pretending like, I'm coming across black people who are making fun and it's not the same thing. And y'all know it's not the same thing. A black person making fun of you and hurting your feelings is not the same as systematic white domination and white hegemony. Your cousin making fun of you because you walked into the house with the young white woman or with the white young man is not the same as that white man or white woman and what their family could do or has done. Uh-oh. Y'all really play down the system part of ism and racism just so you can have your interracial fun. So to Bree, no, it is not the same. And shout out to Vince for sending this to me. Huh? So continuing. Um, that interracial conversation is something we're never really going to be over in America. I want people to get over the fact that we'll never be over it because of America's founding. America is a white neo-colonial settler state. Shout out to all the conservative brothers. I know I just pissed y'all off. I said it and I meant it, and you know it's true. And to all the random white dudes that might be listening, tell me I'm lying and show me how I am. Uh-oh. And yes, Mr. Z did watch that clip from Dr. Ritchie about how Trump don't got no black people in his administration. Well, all them feces on your lips and welp. America is a neo-colonial white settler state. Dear people of color, women of color, I'm not going to tell you who to date, who to have sex with, and who to marry. That is not Z's place. And no, Mr. Z does not um feel that you shouldn't or think that you shouldn't get married if you want to and sign the marriage contract and live your lives and be happy and be merry and frolic in the sunlight with each other. That's not Z's place. With that, the second y'all come on social media, this public town square, minimizing, playing down black oppression or equalizing it to anything else so you don't feel a certain way about what you want to do with probably a white person, you have now opened yourself up to Mr. Z and his critique. Huh? And yeah, Cash Patel, yeah. I see that. So that's gonna be fun. Dylan James says, "What about the Latina Z? What about the curse of Ham? Huh? What about that portrait out of Latin America, the redemption of Ham? Yeah, Latinas mess with brothers. Yes, we know, but a number of them, huh? We already know about the whole Mejora Raza. We already know about the colorism. We already know about the racial hierarchy coming out of Latin America. Huh? So the interracial conversation is fascinating, and I could tie that right into shout out to Passport OG again. The other link that I have, check the description box, of the Chinese women who are low key kind of getting panicked and desperate that a number of Chinese men are saying, you know what, I got something for y'all ass. I'll just marry out. Huh? I'll just import a Russian or Eastern European or Ukrainian. Uh-oh. Now what? Now, I see what Paspero G did there. I said it before. The way black women ask and beg, I said it the way I meant it, is insult. That's how they speak to black men. See, the Chinese women, you could see them frazzled, you could see them panicking. Oh boy, these Chinese men, they really mean it. Wait a minute, wait. So y'all are just gonna go get Eastern European women? Y'all are just gonna get white women? Wait, you're supposed to pay this bride price. Wait, no, you can't do that. And you could see them. Homegirl straight up told you, I would rather you be single than go get those white women. We know that black women believe the same thing. Huh? I would rather you be single than go get those white women. Homegirl pretty much said that's what she said. Shout out to Passport OG. That's what the Chinese woman said. If you can't pay this bride price, then be single. I told you, all those women want to be white women. They all jealous of white women, and they all don't want you to end up with a white woman. All women of color, that's their kryptonite, is watching any man of color walking around with a white woman. Oh, the myth of white womanhood reigns supreme in all of their imagination. Huh? She pretty much said, I would rather you be single. If you can't afford the bride price for a Chinese woman, I would rather you be single than go over there to the white women. So you just not gonna pay a bride price? You just not gonna pay an exorbitant, retarded, stupid bride price? Huh? Now that's how the Chinese women are moving. Panicked and razzled, huh? Scared. That's not how the black women are moving. How are black women moving, Z? mocking you, making fun of you, insulting you. Shout out to Chrissy. Shout out to Real Talk with Yanni. Shout out to Kim Foster. Shout out to Cynthia G. Shout out to Shira7. Oh my God, I could go on forever. Shout out to Crystal and Karazin. Shout out to who else? We got Lexus Exis. Oh my God, we could go on forever. Jesus. And that's just around Z's age group. We ain't even do the older Xers and the boomers. We could go on forever. Actually, I think Crystal and Karazin is an older X. Well, she's an Xer, right? Huh? That's how black women do it. They insult and mock you and make fun of you and tell you how they're gonna. Why are white women not told to settle? Why are black women told to settle? And they're gonna go get them a white man and date out themselves, and they're gonna do passport girls themselves, and we ran the numbers, and see, Chinese women know too many Chinese men do that, and we're asked out, and we can't make up for it. And they're saying it. Not black women. Black women will stay with the poker face, no pun intended. They'll stay with that poker face to death. Huh? Shout out to Vivica A. Fox. Shout out to Eartha Kitt. Huh? Shout out to Lisa Ray. I vacation for the month. Okay, yeah, that's it. And shout out to Passport OG. And Passport OG says, bride price when you marry, bride price when she files for divorce. Chinese men, nah, right? And Passport OG, if you get a chance, listen to the beginning of the stream if you get a chance, right? So I really want to stress this. When you hear the women who and shout out to Passport G for playing that clip, the 50K clip. You know, if you don't earn over 50,000, you shouldn't even be dating, right? And the young lady starts to mock other random women who would date you, who would take you seriously, who might even marry you. You like being stagnant. You haven't taken a shower, excuse me, for 3 days or however she was saying it. That's how black women speak about the black men who are deciding to date out, the black men who are deciding to marry out, the black men who are expanding their options, the SYSBM brothers, the passport brothers, huh? And why shouldn't they, huh? If black women are hell bent, or if too many, or if enough black women are hell bent on living their myth of white womanhood, and they're angry at black men, they're livid that not enough black men are attempting to be elite rich white men, because that's really what it is. And those black men who are not trying to be elite rich white men are labeled all type of dusty, lazy, losers, stagnant, huh? Then why shouldn't black men expand their options? Leave these black women for the manufacturer. Y'all remember Z's previous stream? Send them back to the manufacturer. Leave them on the lot. Shout out to BGS. And leave them for the elite black men, the very attractive and tall black men. Leave them for the white dudes and the Latinos and the Asians that will have them. It ain't looking good, but fine. Huh? And essentially do what Chinese men are doing. Huh? We already see how black women move as compared to some of those Chinese women over there. The Chinese women are they're literally saying what the issue is. Black women trying to save face, all that ego, hubris, the black girl swag. You get Chrissy with that. You get Yanny with that. You get Kim Foster with that. You get Cynthia G with that. You get talks of eugenics, borderline genocide. Huh? That's black women. Huh? Well, there. That's hysterical. I could make a whole stream about that. And trust is black girl swagic. Swag right into tragic. Swag they black girl swag they way right until it's tragic. Huh? And that's the real. Continuing. So what I think Passport OG presented here, it's something to really consider. Um, y'all know Mr. Z is all about black women. That's my preference, right? With that, if what we have are a number of black women who white ad execs, propaganda, the myth of white womanhood has so thoroughly diddled their mind, right? Nixon in the sell them on capitalism, yes, he really said it. It's a real thing. If that has so thoroughly worked on black women that what we have is a sizable minority majority of black women who have decided that it's the opulent life or nothing, well, I say leave those black women on the lot. Leave them on the lot. Send them back to the manufacturer. And once again, the manufacturer is the dominant society, white folks, right? Their mothers, the technocrats, the social designers, the tastemakers. Send them back to them. That's if you pick them up in the first place. Leave them on the lot. Once again, for the saleswoman, their mothers, and for the manufacturers, the technocrats, the social designers, their professors, their teachers, the tastemakers, etc., etc. Huh? That's what the Chinese men are doing. And don't expect black women to respond the way the Chinese respond. Black women have manifesting, oops. They have their rose toy, yikes. They have interracial relationships, ope. They have same sex loving relationships, eat, right? They have Pookie, right? They have a number of escape hatches to not have to deal with black men and black men saying, you go no further with insulting us. You go no further with demeaning us. You go no further with the negative propaganda about us. You go no further with the sexism. You go no further with the talks of eugenics. You go no further with being quiet, listening to other black women engage in that rhetoric. So black women have a bunch of little escape hatches. Engage in them, ladies. Now the numbers don't say it's working in your favor. The numbers actually say single and childless black women have the least amount of wealth in America. That's what they say, but that's what the numbers actually say. That Single and childless black women have 8 cents to the white man's dollar. That's what it actually says. Huh? The numbers actually say like 62% of black women are single. That's what it actually says. But with the Z know? Huh? Mr. Z said, get on the black man's program. Christy said, ain't no program to get on. Huh? Mr. Z said, we're not doing partners because we don't want to be in relationships and marriages with flip-flopping ass black women who got one foot in patriarchy and one foot in feminism. Patriarchy by feminist specifications, which is what most of you subscribe to. So Mr. Z said, we ain't doing partners because most of us aren't LGBTQ and we're not talking business. So we're not doing partners. And Kim Foster says, you're going to have to do partner. Huh? So Mr. Z returns and says, leave them on the lot. Send them back to the manufacturer. The technocrats, the social designers, the tastemakers, like a Kim Foster. Huh? Mr. Z stresses that the Kim Fosters of the world are your class enemy, dear black women. That the Chrissies are your class enemy, dear black women, because all of them can and probably will turn around and get married on your ass, might have children on your ass, and many of you subscribers to them will be out here looking sick. See, the Chinese women know what this is going to mean for them if too many Chinese men date and marry out. They know what it's going to mean for them. Huh? And recall, Chinese men outnumber Chinese women, particularly as you come down in age by what, 30 million? Huh? And yet, Chinese women are panicked. A number of them, anyway. Black women, on the other hand, no, we'll just do Golden Girls. We would much rather be around other women anyway. And that's the ones that's not same sex loving or secretly same sex loving, saying that, don't worry, ladies, we'll put you to the test. We'll see if you really mean it. Huh? See, y'all see the videos of the Latinas, the white women, crying in their cars. Huh? You see a handful of black women, just a smidge, and they really ain't really crying. They're demanding that black men show up to speed dating events and matchmaking events and mixers. Huh? They're demanding, they're not really asking that black men donate sperm to the sperm bank because black men are shutting it all the way down. Huh? See, the Chinese women know what this will mean, and they haven't really engaged with the type of propaganda that black women have. They don't really know much about this gynocracy matriarchy thing. Huh? And using the state to regulate the men for them. Black women, on the other hand, oh boy. Huh? So you see the Chinese men starting to import women more and more, right? You're starting to hear about South Korean men potentially engaging in that. I've heard rumors about this going years back that that's what the Japanese men might have to do. Huh? If the women in these countries, developing or developed nations, quote unquote developed nations, have a quote unquote bride price, because in America that's essentially what it is. If you're saying I need a man that makes six figures or more, that's a bride price. What you're saying, it's not a one-time bride price, but what you're saying is a bride price to have a quote unquote relationship with me, partnership. It's going to cost this much yearly income because I need to have this lifestyle. I need a home like this with this much square footage. I need a luxury car like this once every 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That's a bride price. So if the ladies are saying their bride price is 80 plus, 100 plus, they can't count because when they say 100, they really, really mean like a quarter million Z, be honest. They really mean half a million Z. Okay, they really mean a million. Then why shouldn't the men in these developed nations, developing nations, seek companionship and a wife? I did not say partner. Why shouldn't they seek a wife somewhere else? Why shouldn't they? If the women want to play society and community, you have to mean it all the way. If you say equality and egalitarianism, you need to mean it all the way. You can't just mean it in theory. You can't just mean it for everyone else except for you in your individual dealings with men romantically. Huh? These people mean it for everyone else but them. No, the problem is that the men are not likable, Z. The problem is the men haven't developed personality. Then we put the microphone in front of the women, and they're like, ew, blue collar, ew, less than $50,000 a year. We put the microphone in front of the women, and the women say, who wants to be with average anyway? We put the microphone in front of the women, and they say economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. That's what the women say. To the left, stop it. And Dr. T says, their pride factor will be the undoing of it all. I don't know why I kept on saying bride. And you're right, Dr. T. See, at first it sounded like some pop culture crap, a bunch of He-Man woman haters over here, because y'all refuse to, investigate what the men are saying. You know how this conversation is really going? The technocrats, they're not actually afraid of women. They're not. What they're doing is weaponizing women against working class and everyday men. I don't care how conspiratorial it sounds. I said what I said. Huh? So, what it is as if the movers and shakers and technocrats and thinkers and whoever these people are, for all of us that have siblings, whether your sibling is a girl or, well, woman or man, girl or boy, um, but particularly if you have a sister, y'all ever get into a back and forth and really they're the ones who initiate it and they hit you or they say something slick to you or they say something underhanded or they curse you out, etc., and your parents don't hear what they said or your parent did not catch them hitting you, but your parent did catch you hitting them back or caught you responding to them. That's how the technocrats are moving. Whoever the social designers are, the technocrats, whoever the theys are. So they catch Kevin Samuels speaking back to the women. They never ever acknowledge what the women were saying to Kevin, ever. They speak about Fresh and Fit. They never speak about the women on Fresh and Fit, or they make them seem like bimbos, right? The whatever show, same thing, huh? The technocrats, the social designers, whoever the theys are, the framing is always insecure men, men who can't deal with women's newfound power, women's newfound freedom. The men don't want to be collaborative. We don't want to be collaborative with your selfish ass daughters. It's not going to be collaborative. Stop it, Tori Lorenz or whatever your name is. It's not collaborative. It will not be collaborative. It will be the women getting stuff for free with minimal effort. We're not going to be the cleanup men for wayward women, Tori Lorenz. The men got to be raised, the boys got to be raised to be collaborative. Yeah, we would be if y'all really meant it. If you weren't trying to turn the men into societal and the black community in specific community eunuchs. If the young men and men writ large actually believed you and there was actually evidence that you really meant collaborative, then yes. But that's not what you're really looking for, is it? Y'all all want to shoot your shot at the top 20% of men, fail at it, and now we could be collaborative. Nope. And that's why in China, because it's happening in China, the Chinese men said, y'all could go end up with those elite men over there. We'll import quote unquote chubby Eastern European women. Homegirl wasn't even really chubby. I saw how you responded to that Passport OG. She wasn't chubby for real. But I am a black man, so my idea of chubby is skewed as hell. Garbage men in the dating world. Huh? And I'm in the South. So it's really skewed. And once again, that's China. I, I promise you it had to be the Chinese government that deleted it. I referenced this before. Someone had to see it. There's no way Z was the only one that seen this video. It was a video in China. The bride and the mother, or the should have been soon to be mother-in-law, the bride and the mother were arguing about a car that was supposed to be included in the bride price. The bride was saying, look, where's the car? I ain't getting married to your son if I don't get the car. I need the car first. The groom walks up and starts arguing with the bride because the bride was like, I marry you until I get this car. What's the car? The groom gets frustrated, throws the bouquet on the floor, and walks off. And pretty much, like, from what I'm understanding, said, to hell with all of this. Huh? And we do have two docs in here, Dr. Tiazon Johnson and Dr. Thunder. What's going on, Dr. Thunder? Dr. Tiazon Johnson. We got BGS in here. I know I'm not the only. Anyone else ever see this? I saw it on Instagram. My dumbass did not download it. I'd be beating myself up when I don't download these clips, right? Yeah, the internet is forever, but all the videos aren't, right? Oh boy. Oh, okay. You saw it too, BGS? BGS, did you download it? Nobody downloaded this damn video. Because when I looked for it again, everywhere I searched for it, it was there and it was deleted. Because I know, if y'all don't know this, shout out to Hot Sauce. The CCP is hell on these type of videos. They don't want none of that type of propaganda getting out. None of it. They even got on all they show offy influencers, the fashionistas in China. They even got on them. Y'all so in Discord um um in China because y'all over here showing off your wealth and your luxury goods, and the poor Chinese are feeling a certain way about it. Cut it out. Yeah, the Chinese, the CCP ain't playing. But I'm tying that to this conversation by saying like this is the goal. This is how you get the Chinese men saying, yeah, about that. See, that elitism that y'all on or that y'all trying to be on, nah. Huh? And I would argue black men should follow suit. If black women said it's lifestyle or nothing, black men should respond, all right, bet. And everyone knows what all right, bet means. Say that. And Trail Billy says the peasants are revolting. More and more working class men are saying no more. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to kick black women in the rear end, but they're going to be the ones that are more headstrong about not budging. And you hear it from a bunch of different women that they're not budging. You heard it from Real Talk with Yanni. You heard it from Chrissy. You heard it from Mahogany Pink a couple of years ago. The black women said they're not budging. You hear it from Kim Foster. In their own different ways. I'm not saying they use these literal words, but in their own different ways, they all have pretty much said they're not budging. You heard it from Cynthia G. All of these women, in their own different ways, have expressed that they're not budging off of the insanity. Huh? Asian women will crack. They already are. White women just showed you their ass in this election. They'll crack. Rael, I ain't even gonna read it out loud. Hysterical. Huh? Latinas will budge. Well, at least not the Afro Latinas. Huh? Black women, on the other hand, under the bridge they go. Black women, on the other hand, Golden Girls lifestyle they go. Black women, on the other hand, Rose Toy they go. Black women, on the other hand, same-sex loving relationships they go. You can't help who you love, Z. Love is love. Huh? Good point. And better use is I don't think white women showed them their ass. They just did what they always do. Well, right. So once again, shout out to Passport OG. What's going on in China is to be expected. I've said it multiple times. Shout out to the Roger Report here and Z say this. Y'all done price y'all vagina out the game. If you really want Z to get vulgar and crass with it, if we're gonna go there, if you really want Z to get vulgar and crass, if we're just giggity nuts and bolts with it, y'all done price y'all vagina out the game, ladies. Yeah, no. The men either don't want to pay it or they can't afford it. A mixture of both, either or. Y'all just price y'all vagina out the game. Whether that's China, whether that's Europe, whether that's America, got them price that vagina out the game. The men said, no, you know what? Yeah, nope. Huh? The lady said 50K ain't enough. Shout out to the brother off Lapeef again. Y'all go end up with the elite dudes, and the men said we'll figure out a way. Thank you, Bruce Owen Wade. Leave them on the lot. Shout out to BGS. Leave them on the lot. And Southern Purchase says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Southern Purchase says they just can't see how bad things are. Just told my cousin about the United healthcare CEO getting deleted 2 days today. She said, I bet it was Dusty. It was a Dusty. You know, me and my lady were just talking about that. I gotta tread carefully with this. Ooh, how is Mr. Z gonna say this? We got PhDs in here. I don't want to incriminate. Um, hmm, I would say to the elite, you might be trying to squeeze blood out of a rock, and the way you have America constructed currently, from inflation to just the price of things, the working conditions, the working hours, the fact that your young people can't afford homes, the student loan debt, the yes, we know about women in these frivolous degrees and the student loan debt, but that's besides the point. The expensive cars, $50,000 new car prices, that's crazy. I would say to the elite, you might want to tread carefully. That's not a threat, Mr. Z. It's not about that life. I'm really not. But what I'm saying is you are attempting to squeeze blood out of a rock. There is a reason why De Beers is slashing their diamond prices by what, 15, 10%? Uh, there is a reason why these restaurants are closing down. Yes, young people think about food and diet differently. Yes, that's true too. But it's not just that, it's because they don't really have the time or the money for that type of leisure. Have you ever considered that? There's a reason for all these things. I would say to the elite, y'all might want to reconsider your profit margins and exponential growth on a finite planet. If I'm going to be generous to the women, they might kind of, sort of, maybe kind of have a point. Let's just a teeny tiny bit on the I'm not having no kids in the struggle. Dear American government, you might want to do something about that. And making deleting unborn fetuses illegal, I see what you're trying to do, JD Vance. I see it. It might not be enough. Just a thought. Huh, there's a put in there. Huh? It's not like y'all already know this. What? Mm. Why does there always have to be a goddamn French Revolution for y'all to get it? Shout out to Sarge Willie P. Y'all like default to feudalism every so often. Every so often, guillotine's got to come out, and y'all like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot we dealing with other human beings. I forgot. Oops, I forgot. Huh? Shout out to all of y'all with y'all private jets and y'all bunkers. We'll see. No, Mr. Z don't got no intel on nothing or any of it. Just saying. It's not smart. Huh? It's not smart. This is not sustainable. Let me bring back the phrase. This is not sustainable. It's just not. Huh? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Huh? Hey, say that, Passport OG. Say that. Exactly. It is true. And Jason says, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Frederick Douglass. He did say it, right? Man. So yeah, you could tie that. The women are scrambling. Southern Prejudice. I'll just tie that right into the conversation. The women are scrambling. They're too cowardly, and we shouldn't expect it from the ladies anyway. As sexist as that sounds, they're feeling the pinch, they're feeling the squeeze, and they're just scrambling for higher ground. And for most women of color, in their mind, higher ground is white men. Huh? If they can't get with the most elite man of their own demographic, it's white men. Because white skin symbolizes at least stability, even though we know like the how many poor white men there are and barely making it, but fine. Women of color said they don't exist, fine. Or they're rare. But the women are scrambling across the board. They trying to pressure the Chinese men to pay these bride prices in China. Shout out to the trade war. Y'all Chinese women feeling that pinch, huh? Ouch. Huh? That trade war with the US hurting y'all too, ain't it? Huh? Uh-oh. I've been following Chinese news. Prices starting to hurt, ain't it? It's not just the US. We're not the only ones feeling the pinch. They keep on calling it just inflation. It's not just inflation. Huh? So women in America feeling it when they go to the grocery store. I guess the Chinese women are feeling it when they go to the grocery store too. Uh-oh. That single life kicking y'all all in the ass, ain't it? Trying to get subsidized by the Chinese men, but y'all still ain't really asking the correct way. He needs some milk. Y'all need some milk, don't y'all? Don't worry. Your black sister over here in America and your white ones and some of the Latinas and even a handful of Asians, they don't know how to ask correctly either. They actually even worse than y'all are in China. Huh? So everyone's feeling the pinch. The women are scrambling for higher ground in their minds. Elite men, understandable. We know the fastest way to gain wealth is to marry into it. Everyone knows this. The women especially know this. Duh. So the women are trying to marry into higher ground, and they pricing their vagina right out the game. Huh? And they're pricing their vagina right out the game. And that's hurting your population in America, your birth rate in America. Huh? The drive and motivation of young men. Huh? The women are drowning into all type of debt because they're trying to find escape hatches for not being with men. Shout out to all those degrees. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. And then they went to go get their master's degree. Uh-oh. Rest in peace, Kevin. Vincent, give me now, please. Right? So to Southern Purchase, I'll say I am surprised it took this long. I'll just say that. I don't want to go too far into this. That's probably a behind the wall. Like I know some of y'all been saying Z got to do a Patreon or something, whatever. And like somebody proposed this almost a year ago at this point, maybe even over a year ago, and we might have to start doing that for these type of conversations. So I'm that's why I'm treading carefully. Um, but yeah, that should have look in Z's mind. I'm like, oh, we just not getting here, right? I'm surprised we just getting here. What I was watching years ago, over a decade ago at this point, way more than a decade ago. I want to say they were saying South Africa, but it could have been another country where they were saying like when they drive these super wealthy people around, white folks, they drive them in motorcades. They're they're swerving in and out of lanes when they're driving under overpasses because the people there throw things and like ambush them and steal what's in their pockets, what's in the cars or whatever. So they got to drive in motorcades and switch lanes and whatever and whatever. And we know about those folks being in Africa and the exploitation and whatever, right? So yeah, as Black Guru said, mark of things to come, right? I'm surprised we just getting here. And by the way, that's just one incident. We understand. I'm not wishing this on those people and their families. But when we already know what a lot of these insurance companies are on. People are paying into insurance. Y'all make it hell for them to get their money when they claim. Y'all want to investigate. I get it. To a certain extent, we understand you don't want people to be stealing the money or, you know, running out the back door. We get it. We get it. But like your your model literally is about paying as little in claims as humanly possible and hoovering up as much profit as humanly possible. That's literally your business model. You gotta know. Thank you, Vince. Exactly. Look, my finger slipped. Oops. Huh? I'm saying, Rael, it is funny. Vince is somewhere we can put our tinfoil kufis and durex on comfortably. I'm saying. Huh? I'm saying, Black Guru. I'm reading y'all comments. I'm reading the comments. Oops, look, my finger slipped. Huh? I'm saying like we could tie all of that in. The way the world is currently constructed is not sustainable across the board. It's not sustainable. Everything from politics to the economic sphere, the man woman relations, we already know about that. This is not sustainable. The beauty of the internet and social media is that these people don't have a monopoly on the dissemination of information anymore. Huh? They don't have a monopoly on it anymore. And because they don't have a monopoly on the information, it's an existential crisis for every goddamn body right now. Right? Particularly the young folks. Z, what's young? Everything under the age of 50. Sorry, Black Guru and BGS. Right? It's an existential crisis across the board. The technology is going to be beautiful, though. Everything else, up in the air. We don't know. Huh? And it's all because of These people and what they designed. What they designed is how we got here. There's the big new Brzezinskis and Kissingers of the world, and the Reagans and the Nixons and the Carter. Well, Carter, he's bad, but on a scale of bad, maybe less bad, but still bad, right? The Clintons of the world, huh? I ain't even gonna mention the small hats over there in that little slice of Europe they got in the Middle East, huh? Or the European powers, huh? That's how you get here. It's not just that the birth rates are plummeting. Your people aren't even coupling. Young people aren't even coupling. And you screwed the young men because you were afraid of them. Let's get this right. We're not going to pay livable wages, so the young people are staying at home longer. The young people are staying home longer, so they're not having as much sex because they don't have their own place. They don't have their own place. They barely don't even have their own car, so they're not even getting it in the car. You don't even got the oops babies anymore. Teenage birth rate went to the floor, crashed through the goddamn floor into the basement, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing, but it's a bad thing too. Huh? So your young people aren't coupling. They're not having sexy time. They're not having children. They're not even having oops babies like that anymore. Goddamn. Vic. Vic says, yet sister stayed pregnant, which is crazy because even their birth rate helped with being able to delete their babies in those clinics. Even their birth rate is below replacement level. It's like 1.8 or something like that. You need 2.1 to maintain your population. Huh? And there you go. Whoever the technocrats and the social designers are, Jesus Christ, y'all really mucked this up. Unless this was part of y'all plan, talk about tinfoil hat and kufi. How is this sustainable? It's not. The Chinese just got here after the century of humiliation, and they're already like, yeah, about that. Xi done raised the goddamn what was it, the fact that you could only have one child. He raised it to two children, then raised it to three children. All in the span of what, 10, 15 years ish? It went from one to three, and that helped nothing. The Chinese said about that 996 player. Yes, so we're supposed to have children and get married, working 9 hour, well, excuse me, 9 to 9, 6 days a week, and then have our parents, our children's grandparents raise the children back in the town we're from while we work in the city, hundreds of miles away. What? And then send money back home? The Chinese said, yeah, about that. Nope. And they just got here. Huh? Japanese been here for a while. And well, the men said hikikomori. That's what they said. Huh? The South Korean men said we'll just keep on harassing you. Huh? Oh boy. In America, the men are saying passport bros, any type of SYS, whatever, BM, white M, or WM, I guess. Huh? This is not sustainable. I guess this is your way, if it was done on purpose, this is your way of what correcting exponential growth or the idea of exponential growth. Huh. So yeah. Um Actually, and Kinsey and Red brought me back to the topic. And he says, just watch, and once again, thank you for the super chat, Southern Purchase. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Kinsey and Red says, just watch Link. Both situations are not good for the program, especially when they are having success and people want Dion to fail. True. Um, so when Passport OG presented to us with Deion Sanders and the young brother, what I found interesting about that is that there's no win. And I don't think black women really appreciate how much black men look at that and say, wow, so there's no win. Like, you know, I don't really subscribe to the alpha thing. I use this word because people understand it, but I can't alpha my way enough. And like the answer is no, no. You can never be, well, I guess pun here, you can never be on your game enough as a black man. You can't never be good enough. Now, can you actually be good enough? Absolutely. But for the ladies, eh, huh? No matter how successful you are, you're still a black man. Shout out to Kanye, still a Negro in a coop, huh? And talking about that. So this is random. So y'all get ready for random time. And I gotta say it. Look, man, I am the child of immigrants. I really, and I'm gonna link it in the description box because I gotta address one of the brothers. Look, shout out to Chisa Zed. We gotta be careful on how we speak about victim mentality as black people, black men in specific. You know, the brother Chisa Zed was covering Dr. Umar Johnson, speaking to that Australian sister, yeah, black woman in Australia, and you know, and Dr. Umar Johnson pretty much said like, y'all be complaining about the same thing, and black people are the same black people no matter where we go. And the sister was like, no, that's not true. And then she proceeded to say the exact same things that black American women are saying, and black British women are saying, and black Canadian women are saying. Oh boy. But Sister Zed said something along the lines of victim mentality. Look, man, I black people got to be real careful with this type of talk. Really careful. I don't want us to get into the habit of attempting to spite each other or attempting to minimize white hegemony, white supremacy with this talk of like, I just rise above it talk, right? I just don't let it affect me talk. That's the whole point of oppression and white oppression, right? And so Chisel Zed got into got into this part of the conversation where he was like, "Yo, I just, essentially rise above. I don't let, yeah, right oppression, yeah, it might be real, but like, I just don't let it get in my way." And like, that's not how that works, right? Like, once again, way too much outliers talking. Um, that's not how that works. The whole point of the oppression is that you don't rise above it. Chissa said, if you rose above it, then you wouldn't still be in America. Like, I'm a child of immigrants, you're the child of immigrants. You would have went back to whatever country your parents are from. And whoever's lining the pockets of the leaders of the country that your parents are from, y'all would have deleted them and overthrew, and then probably found out who was lining the pockets and did, maybe did something to them. If you really quote unquote rose above, like, follow your line of thinking all the way to its logical conclusion. There's no rising above. That's why you're here in America. Huh? Like, you critique oftentimes and you show the insanity of the women, particularly women of color, because they didn't rise above, you didn't rise above. We're still subject to what some elite rich white fucks. I'm gonna just start using profanity where after hours now. Um, right? Like, we're still subject to whatever world they designed, and then the way they have propagandized the women of color, namely black women in our case, that we're interacting with. See, that's how you didn't rise above. That's the oppression right there, huh? That's the oppression right there. You got to be careful on how you say these things. Y'all be like sleepwalking into like anti-blackness, and I don't even think y'all really appreciate how y'all like breadcrumb into that for some sense of quote unquote empowerment. I'm not a victim, bro. We're speaking English. Like, we're in America with the child of immigrants. I'm not a victim, really. My channel speaks about black women a lot. Your channel speaks about black women a lot. Black women have been weaponized ag- against us. You don't understand what's going on here. You're not a victim, and you're still in America. Kaka. Wait, what? I'm not saying that we shouldn't hold them accountable for what they believe in and how they've conducted themselves. But this whole like playing down, being on the wrong side of white males' oppression, white people's oppression, eh, like, it sounds empowering and it sounds manly, and it's not real. It's not, right? I get it. Like, Mr. Z wants to have kids, and I might have a son, and I'm definitely not gonna let him use excuses. But I know what world we live in, and like, this minimizing this thing is how you get that sister at in Yale that the white girl flex white girl power on, and the cop is harassing her at her dorm because she fell asleep in the common area at Yale. The Ivy League institution. The young lady working, black young lady, child of immigrants, mind you, African, child of immigrants, African, working on her master's degree at Yale, and white girl go flex white girl power on her because she fell asleep in the common area, common room or common area, and now the cops are at her dorm harassing her. That's that's being a victim. She did everything the right way from what we can tell, and she's still on the wrong side. Botham Jean, Exhibit A, well, Exhibit B. The brother that had an issue with his car and he's walking at nighttime and knocking on doors and the dude shoot through the door and delete him. Wasn't he a child of immigrants too? I think I'm not 100% sure of that. Uh oh. Huh? Akai Gurley, we could go on forever with the child of immigrants getting caught up. Huh? Doing the right thing on the right side of history. Well, not on the right side of history. Doing the right thing or just living their lives and just victim mentality. Ooh, you got to be careful with that one. Are there people that take this too far? Yes, particularly women. But y'all be playing around with that victim mentality talk a little too much for Mr. Z's taste. Huh? Especially as immigrants and children of immigrants, you got to be careful with this type of language in America. In America. All that rise above and I don't let it get in my way. And who was that on Breakfast Club? Was it Cynthia Erivo or was it the other one, Louvie? One of them said something similar on the Breakfast Club one time, and I was cringing like hell. Ugh, y'all gotta be careful with that. We just don't let the oppression get in our way. Da 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 da. Meanwhile, the white dude pogo sticking up and down your daughter's esophagus. Yeah, the oppression not getting in the way. All right, huh? Meanwhile, Toby over here getting deleted by the white girl, huh? And she get to live her life for what, 3 months, 4 or 5 months? I don't remember how long it was. I think it was like 3 months. She out here eating at a restaurant with her dad like 2 days later after deleting Toby. Huh? Y'all gotta be careful with this. Mr. Z is a child to immigrants also. Y'all keep on playing with this weirdo language. Huh? This rise above the oppression or it's not really that real. Black Americans exaggerating it, but be careful with that type of rhetoric, yo. Y'all keep minimizing this thing. Because I'm a real man. I'm not gonna be no victim. That's victim mentality. That's victim talk. Okay. Huh? And then you find out every once in a while DOJ suing banks for racist practices on black folks. Mortgage companies, racist practices on black folks. Hiring agencies, racist practices on black folks. Huh? Loan offices, racist practices on black folks. But yeah, y'all talking victim mentality and mocking it? Thank you, Vince. You sure about that? Are you sure about that? Exactly. Huh? Black Rule says the oppression is getting in the way of their daughter's tonsils. You see what I'm saying? Like that same white oppression, white male hegemony, right? White male patriarchy is why, Chissa said, a lot of them African sisters come to America or they were born in America, the child of African immigrants, and a lot of them African sisters are getting pogo sticked in right now by the white dude. You want to know why? Because of white male patriarchy. That same oppression that you minimizing, she want to be a part of that. Huh? Yeah, what happened? And Passport OG says immigrants haven't had an Oscarville, Rosewood, Wilmington yet, but they have back in their home country. They have. Where is all that money that's being funneled out of Africa going? It's sitting in European banks, it's sitting in American banks. Those corrupt leaders aren't, whose weapons are they purchasing when they turn the gun on their fellow African? Where are those guns coming from? Where are the helicopters coming from? Where are the grenade launchers coming from? Where are the tanks coming from? Huh? The drones, where are they coming from? You would think the continent that had to deal with Cecil Rhodes and Leopold would know better than to minimize being victims. You would think they would know better. You're in America minimizing white hegemony, and I rose above. Did you? We out here making content about black women's wayward ass behavior, subsidized by, encouraged by white men and white women, because that's their way of oppressing you through your women, through sabotaging you with your women. For all intents and purposes, your women. Huh? And Kinsey and Red says, and it's true because it actually did happen. And Kinsey and Red says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Kinsey and Red says, just because I want to stop your train of thought. Jesus Christ, it happened too. Right? And so I had to touch on that. I watched the clip with Chissa Zed. I don't have a problem with Chissa Zed, but whenever we get into this kind of talk, look, man, especially if you're the child, I am Haitian descent, y'all. Man, if y'all look up European and American history with Haiti, what would I look like saying I rose above? What? Or minimizing the oppression and I just don't let it get in the way and I don't use excuses and man, it sounds nice. It sounds empowering, huh? It sounds nice and it sounds empowering, and Mr. Z is working like damn near 70 hours a week. Uh-oh. Y'all don't see the whole thing as being white hegemony. All of it is. The housing market, white hegemony. The car prices, white hegemony. The prices of schools, white hegemony. Private schools in America, white hegemony. Oh, wait, y'all didn't think private schools? Y'all didn't think that was it? The white folks pulling their kids out of public schools and creating the private schools so that their kids wouldn't have to go to school with you so they could hoard all the wealth? Huh? Them incorporating and making different cities, separating from the city so they could make a different small ass city so they wouldn't have to share the wealth. I said white hegemony. I meant what I said. Huh? It's all white oppression. First person deleted on US soil with a drone is who? Goddamn. Youngest person to be deleted. What, Henny? What was he, 13, 14? He couldn't even barely sit in the goddamn chair. All that's black. Jack Johnson, the Mann Act, black, huh? And then it caught a couple of famous and rich Negroes off of that. And Sister Z, for you to speak the way you do, brother, you're smarter than that. That's all I'll say to that. I'll leave it at that. You're smarter than that. It sounds empowering. It sounds nice. I get it. You don't want black men to engage in this weird thing where you're always on the wrong side of history and the white man is always tripping you up. I get it, but y'all take that and then run the complete opposite direction, way too far, huh? The '94 crime bill, everything. Y'all could even ADOS folks already know all of this. Even the weaponization of weed, marijuana goes back to reefer madness. That's black folks, black men. Miss me with the. I was about to do. I was about to pull a Leon. Miss me with the BS. So either black folks in America are victims or they are not. But that victim mentality talk, minimizing it. So yeah, whenever I hear any black person, particularly in America, but any black person minimize this thing, yeah, I can't let it slide. I just can't. I get it. It sounds empowering, especially as a man especially as a black man to I just rise above, or I just don't let it get in my way, or I move around it, and then, yeah, all that sound nice. All of that sound nice. Now we understand that a black man got in his way with this, but he was wielding the tools of white power structure. Robert Smith, anyone? Goddamn Z, and that's a billionaire. That's a billionaire. Uh-oh. Huh? Bill Cosby, anyone? Well, huh? There are a number of cases. I mean, even, before Diddy got caught up with this whole thing, he told you they were playing in his face with them cable companies. Bob Johnson ex-wife told you the same thing. They told you what that black couple that were trying to sell their house, they were offering them what, a couple $100,000 less for the house than it was worth just because they're black. Just as that, all that's real, and all that ties in. The sister at Yale with the white girl flexing white girl power, all the way to the black couple trying to sell their house and being offered hundreds of thousands of dollars less than what it's worth. All of that is being the victim. From Botham Jean to homegirl, the white female cop that shot the brother, who I think that was a navigator that had broken down on the side of the road or whatever happened. All of that is being a victim. All of it. Trail said it was like $150,000 less in appraisal. Huh? 15, 20 years ago, 150, that's a whole other house. But about 20-ish, 15-ish years ago, that was a whole other house. $150,000 less. So I'm real careful with this. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chisel Z. I'm real careful. Thank you. The Freedman's Bank type thing, and Pastor G says your bank card got burned up is the in the festivities, quote unquote, last night. Guess yeah, guess your money in the bank is ours now. Yeah, right. So I'm real careful with this, man. I'm real careful with this victim mentality victim mentality talk. Excuse me. You got to be careful how you engage with this type of talk. Are there people that take that and weaponize it and do too much with using white supremacy as an excuse for everything? Yeah, but black people, I get it. That you don't want to feel like the victim. I get it. Um, yeah, especially black being a man, being a black man. I get it. I get it. But you got to be careful with this, huh? You got to be careful. And Nema says DL Hughley talked about that happening to him and his family when he tried to sell his previous home. And that's a rich, famous entertainer. Rich, famous black entertainer. One of the kings of comedy. Huh? Just saying. So you see, it's crazy. Like to Z, it's not that complicated, but I'm literally covering Passport OG and what he covered with the women in China. You see how black women in America are speaking. You see that people just elected Donald Trump, and we understand how much of that is because of inflation, because of people struggling economically, you know, essentially using Donald Trump as a grenade in this kind of neoliberal project. And all of that is white supremacy, white hegemony, mainly of white elite folks, but still all of it is that. And for Chissa Zed to speak the way he did, and I'm gonna link it in the description box. Shout out to the replay gang. And y'all to tell Z if I'm reading too much into it, that's not what he meant. I took it the wrong way. And it's possible. But once we start minimizing white hegemony and what elite white folks are on and their sabotage of communities in America and nation states outside of America, you gotta get real careful with how y'all play with this and engage with this type of language, right? Especially for all of us in the diaspora who are in America. All of us in the diaspora who are in America, quite frankly, anyone who wasn't bought to where they currently live, so essentially AOS folks, right? In America, if you're black in Europe, black in America, and you minimizing white supremacy and white male hegemony, ah, as if in a weird way, what your parents or maybe grandparents did was move to where the money got hoarded. Like, I don't think y'all really appreciate, and I don't think even our parents or grandparents appreciate, like, that's what you really did. Huh? And like that's why, and I've been, well, God, Z, you about to do it, I'm about to do it. Even Jason Black, yeah, Mr. Z, listen to some of that um live that Jason Black did about the immigrants begging, and he got on Haitians, and yeah, Jason, if you're gonna tell, see, I'm not gonna let you minimize the story. If you're gonna tell the story, tell the whole story, Jason. Yes, Mr. Black, if you're going to tell the story about Haiti and about Haitians moving to the US, Haitian immigrants, then you got to tell the whole story about American sabotage and interloping in Haiti and deleting Haitian leaders or paying Haitians to delete Haitian leaders. Huh? When you say take responsibility, or any way you phrased it, then that would mean flying to America and handling business here. And maybe some of the people that would be handled might be ADOS, if we really want to get into it, Mr. Black. Some of those people that might be helping to sabotage Haiti might be ADOS. Then what, Mr. Black? Uh-oh. Some of those people might be black, any type of three-letter alphabet. They might be working for one of the organizations. Uh-oh. What about if taking responsibility means handling business that way? Now what? I see what you're doing, Mr. Black. I see it, right? You would think you would be the one to help put the brakes on Tariq Nasheed and what he been doing for a couple of years. But no, you just kind of follow along and do the same thing, just with a larger vocabulary. Huh? If you're gonna mention Haiti and Haitians moving to America and why they're here, either legally or illegally, why don't you mention why they come here? Oh, because they're being lazy and they don't want to stay in Haiti and change things. And changing things means coming to America eventually, sir. Changing things means handling some business in America. And some of those folks, and we know it, some of those folks are going to be black and some of those folks are going to be ADOS because those organizations, those three-letter alphabet organizations, are not just a bunch of white folks. It's mainly white folks. And then what will you say, Mr. Black? Huh? Uh-oh. See, all that sound nice. I get what y'all doing. I get it. I was reading through the live comments, your live comments snickering and giggling and yeah. All that sound nice. But ain't nobody want to talk about where all the money got hoarded to. The wealth of Haiti, where did it get hoarded to? All through Africa. Where is the money? Where is the money sitting? It's sitting in banks in Europe and in America. Mr. Black tells you he lying. The opportunity is sitting in America. It's sitting in Canada. It's sitting in Australia. It's sitting all through Western Europe. The reason why Mr. Z speaks about, excuse me, Chissa Z the way I did and Jason Black is because they're not dumb. Jason Black is not dumb, not by a long shot. But when you engage in propaganda, you're gonna go off the rails, and here you go. Yeah, maybe in a bank in the Caymans, that one too. Yeah, true. Actually, true, true. Huh? So if we follow the money that whatever Haitian leaders are stealing from the country, and we follow it, and we handle them, not saying we're not, and we follow it, and it leads back to America, and maybe an ADOS person being the go-between. Are ADOS people going to handle him or her? How's that supposed to work? Name a say that. The Panama Papers, anyone? Huh? That's a real question. When we follow the money and we know it's going to lead into some bank in America, because if the banks in America are over here doing deals with cartels in South America, somebody tells you he lying, and in Central America, then you know they doing deals with corrupt officials all across the black diaspora. You better believe it. And so when you follow the money from Africa, from Haiti, from Jamaica, from Bahamas, from the USVI, if we follow the corrupt officials' money and it lead to some bank in America and it lead to bank officials and different three-letter alphabet boys, and some of them are black, what are Haitians and Africans and Bahamians and Jamaicans, et cetera, supposed to do, Mr. Black? Wouldn't part of them being responsible entail them handling their business with those folks? Huh? Now, if ADOS folks is going to handle the business for Haitians and Jamaicans and Bahamians and different Africans across the diaspora, okay. No harm, no foul. Actually, it's still a harm and a foul, but okay. These are some smart ass men, right? Like, especially Jason Black. Like, I'm listening to him, and Mr. Z, yeah, Mr. Z got his feels. I have no problem saying that. And I'm like, but Jason, like, you know Haitian history. Like, you know enough. You know what this is. Like, you know what's going on. You know about the Clintons. You know about Haitian history. You know about the money that got stolen and got put in that university up here in the US. You know. You know about the sabotage. You know about the US government occupying Haiti, what, in the 19 teens or whatever. You know about the ousting of Aristide. You know about all of that. But yet, when you get in your bag and we doing the whole FBA thing, you minimize that. And it's why are these Haitians coming to the US? Why don't they handle their business in Haiti? They're running, they're cowards, et cetera, et cetera. But the money is here. The opportunity is here. Like, wealth just doesn't exist out of nowhere. It moves. The money is in the US. The money is in Europe. It's not just the money, the opportunity, the uplift, the success, the nice things. Like, isn't that a whole trope across the diaspora? As a matter of fact, it's not even just a black thing, where Latinos and different black people from the diaspora and Asians and whoever, they move to Europe, they move to the US, they move to Canada, they bear their children, they raise their children there for 20 and 30 and 35 years. They retire, they build their house back in Haiti or Jamaica or wherever in Africa, et cetera, and then they go back. Isn't that a thing? Haven't don't we all know at least somebody who's done that? Chinese, um, 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 Haitian, Jamaican, Trini, Guyanese, et cetera, Bahamian, Kenyan, Nigerian. Like, don't we know this? Angolan, like we all, this is a thing. Why did they move to these countries for the 30 some odd years? For the 20 some odd years? That's where the money is. That's where the opportunity is. Because that's where it got hoarded to. The brain drain. Like, it's not that Jason doesn't know these things. I'm kind of low key preaching to the choir here. It's just that he's in his FBA bag, so he's gonna talk like he doesn't know, or at least he doesn't care. At least right now he doesn't. Huh? So this is a thing, and I'm sorry to go on these multiple tangents with y'all tonight, right? But yeah, these are things that just I haven't streamed in a few days, and I've kind of been paying attention to what's going on, and these are like a couple of things that just wanted to cover, just wanted to speak about. But I definitely wanted to show appreciation to all of you. Triggered by Passport OG. Shout out to Passport OG. Thank y'all for the compliments, the well wishes all the time, the encouragement. You know, this is bigger than just the women. I hope y'all heard that here tonight. Um, and then I just wanted to apologize. Um, I know sometimes y'all hear my background. Y'all, I'm late. I'm tardy and late, right? Um, I have to jump off for a little bit. Reckless streams, y'all already know. Um, y'all already know. So I definitely want to apologize, and definitely apologize to Nema, because he was right. We do cut him off a lot, right? So yeah, Trail said tangent approved, tangent approved. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Right. So yeah, and yeah, y'all. So I definitely want to come to y'all with this tonight. Um, kind of go off on the tangents, as I said before, and let's kind of go back to that review that it will end out with life with Bree. Interracial relationships in America, it is political. It's not just love. Love is not just love. That's not how that works anywhere, quite frankly, on the planet. But particularly America, particularly concerning interracial relationships, particularly interracial relationships concerning white folks. I'm sorry to burst y'all bubble. If you are a person of color and you are engaging in interracial relationship, sex with white folks, it is political. You are engaging in a highly political act. It's not just love. It's not just lust. It's not just sex. It's not just kissing. It's not just pecking. It's not just rubbing and touching, etc., etc., etc. Your skin color and your social and political position in America, because of your skin color, I could make a sexual pun out of that. Your skin color has been politicized, and it denotes a political and social position. And if y'all would stop being children, y'all would already know this, or accept it and move on. And if accepting it does entail fighting it, if you so choose, but you got to accept it first. You got to accept that it's a thing first. Huh? It's a whole lot of people doing that. It's not that deep. No, but it really is, though. No pun intended. Why can't I just be in love? That's not how this works. And it's never worked like that. Not in America, at least. It's never worked like that in America. These people done deleted the Hawaiians, deleted indigenous folks, enslaved and deleted black Americans, And y'all just think y'all just gonna be out here having sex and love is love and interracial relationships and what? Huh? The Nazis, Mr. Mustache, small mustache man, got his ideas from here. Here. Apartheid. Here. Yes, South African apartheid. And y'all just think love is love? Wait, what? The Chinese dignitary just threw BLM in America's face a few years ago. He just threw in America's face their treatment of black folks just a couple years ago, just a few years ago. That that wasn't 50 years ago. That wasn't 100 years ago. That was like what, 4 years ago? Huh? We're not even speaking about the Soviet Union throwing how ADOS are treated in America in the US face all throughout the Cold War. We're not even speaking about the Viet Cong saying soul brother not your war. We're not even going there with it. Huh? And y'all just think love is love? And interracial relationships, we just gonna do our thing, whatever. I'm not telling you not to. I'm saying when we put a microphone in front of the women's faces, shout out to Kidology. Yes, she's in the UK. But still, when we put a microphone in front of the women's faces and we ask them why they with the white dudes, after we let them pontificate for about 15 minutes, they start getting to the real. They start talking about lifestyle. Uh-oh. Huh? They start talking about manhood and masculinity. Yikes. They start talking about money. Uh-oh. Huh? They start talking about status. So miss us with the love talk. Dr. Jennifer Lundquist, that's a white woman, would say something different. She's a whole PhD out here. Huh? Dr. Marcia Inhorn might say something different. Yikes. Huh? Dr. Chantel Buggs, that's a mixed woman, might say something different. But all you civilians, oh, you can't help who you love. Love is love, and interracial relationships, and that, and I'll have a children, 20 some odd year old, 30 some odd year old, 40 some odd year old, 50 some odd year old children. Huh? Imagine that. In comparison, says Stalin got his idea for the gulags from American slavery, but couldn't bring himself to start a breeding program. Yes, Stalin wasn't evil enough to copy America thoroughly. This was a man that threw 20 some odd million, who lost 20 some odd million Russians to the Germans, some of which didn't necessarily probably have to die during World War II, but we gonna leave that alone. Someone that cold and calculated said, "Yeah, but about the breeding program, though." Oh, huh? 24 million, something like that. 24 million, 25 million. You imagine? Jeez. I say that. And Pastor G says, Stone was like, y'all wild. Man, Jess had a war with obviously engaged in the war engaged in the war with Germany, World War II. Not all of them soldiers had to die, but anyway, 24 million. Huh? And yet with this, he was like, see about that. Hey, I see what you saying, Mr. Shook to you. I see what you saying. Huh? Exactly. Kabesha says draws the line with breeding farms. Trail Bentley says Stalin who purged 70, 80 million. Huh? And Namus says, yeah. I just found this out recently. And Namus says, and the messed up part was that Stalin wasn't even ethnically Russian. He was ethnic Georgian, right? Yeah, and that's why he died in his goddamn office and nobody knew. And Namus says Stalin was paranoid and fearful of being eliminated, which is why he micromanaged things. What did he die of again, Namus? Maybe a heart attack or some type of thing. Died in his apparently in his office by his goddamn self. We don't know if he was poisoned or whatever, but apparently he just, some type of catastrophic heart failure or something like that. Yeah, that's true. And Jason says foundational white Americans don't know their own history. Yeah, they don't even know the labor history. They don't. You're right about that. They don't know about the uprisings of even white working class folks. Yeah, they don't. They don't. They even romanticize Europe. That's why it's funny when Sarge Willie Pete says we was Vikings. Yeah, yep. That's really what they be on. True. That's funny. And Black Uru says, Stalin said, I don't want that ish on my conscience while I'm burning in hell. Oh, see, that's what I'm okay, yeah. And Namus says complications from a stroke. Yep, 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 yep. Mm, yeah. Craziness. Oh, by the way, they say we remember we're Dusties over here. We're Dusties and we're dumb over here. Remember that. Remember. We're He-Man woman haters. And we could recall history like snap, right? Putting things in its proper context on a global level, using history as a reference, and we could go back decades, hundreds of years, and millennia. Decades, centuries, and millennia when it comes to the historical references. Think tank it is, right? Thank you. And Namus says the white men were yelling, "We were Spartans," until they remembered the ancient Greeks were into same-sex loving. I told y'all when I saw the movie 300, because I saw it in theaters, and when Leonidas said, "Yeah, the Athenians, those boy lovers," I was like, "Wait. The Spartans was out here doing the same thing to their slaves and to each other." Wait, what? And it's crazy because he said it in the movie, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then the group of friends I went to go see the movie with didn't even catch how racist 300 was. They didn't. I caught it when I saw it. And by the way, Mr. Z was political and he was socially aware, but not nearly as I am now. Not even close. And I'm like, y'all don't, this is low key like white racist propaganda. And as I got older, I was like, it ain't even low key white racist propaganda. It's high key white racist propaganda. And I think the author is like goddamn white nationalist, goddamn, right? So yeah, no, the 300 was racist as hell. Leonidas, I'm not Leonidas. Xerxes is like a black dude that's like questionable, but he's really like a transformed black dude because he's really Persian. Because obviously Xerxes was really Persian, right? And then you have all the different races of people that the Greeks are fighting. They, by the way, they don't tell you the whole story because, of course, they're not about how the Spartans turned out to be the goddamn sellouts of Greece and how they aligned with the Persians eventually. Uh oh, how they was out here selling out. Ain't nobody want to talk about that part, right? Jason said, Jason said that's hysterical. Jason says Xerxes looked like he had the herp, right? Xerxes' old tall ass looked like he was getting back shots. I don't know from who. He was tall as crap. I don't know from who. Oh man, hysterical, right? Oh man, it was a good movie. It was a good movie, but that was some white supremacist propaganda for your ass. The action was good, right? There's some good ass one liners. But he said we'll shoot so many arrows that'll look like nighttime or whatever. And Leonidas said, "Fine, we'll fight in the shade." Something like that. It was the "fine, we'll fight in the shade" thing. That's the line. That's the line, right? It's a good movie, but boy, if you watch that movie with a critical eye, oh, shout out to all the critical theory out there, man. But every non-white person in the movie was, you know, everyone. Greece represented, and it's funny because it is the beginning of Western civilization. Greece represented, excuse me, white folks, and then all the different people of color, led by the watery black man, the questionable black man, tall, bald black man. I, look, man, the innuendos, the references is hitting up everybody upside the head, right? That's funny, Trail. Critical. You see the fruits and the nuts. Hysterical, right? And I see what you're saying, and exactly. And Yogami says the whites of Europe versus the whites of Asia. Huh. Jason, for real. And Jason says they was sabotaged by special needs, yeah, by a hunchback of Notre Dame ass looking dude. Right. So yeah, no, that movie was just propaganda crap. But and when I saw it, I saw the thing. But when you get it, but you don't get it, right? So you get it on a surface level, but you don't fully comprehend. And yeah, the older I got, the more I'm like, nah. Because when I first watched it, like I said, action, you're into the action, young man. I think it came out when I was in early 20s or something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool, but okay, racist piece of propaganda, whatever. But even then, I couldn't even really articulate the way I just did. But as I got older, I'm like, no, it's even worse than I thought, right? Hmm. Spain Man, that is a great comment. And Spain Man says, when it came out, it dawned on me that I was sick of watching white men celebrate their conquests at everyone else's expense. I'm gonna leave that comment up for a while. That's a great comment. That's a, because unless, but even Oppenheimer, and by the way, I still haven't watched it yet. I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I still haven't watched it yet. That's on my list. Um, but if white men are not speaking about their inventors and their scientists, right? Hopefully that didn't invent something to murk people of color, but probably did. Um, or that didn't steal the idea. That's why they didn't make a movie about them. Oops. Um, if they're not speaking about their scientists and inventors, that's all that white folks can talk about, particularly white men. That's all they can talk about is murking off somebody else. If the movie or the book is not about a great thinker, right? A beautiful mind type thing, okay, fine. But if we're not going there with it, then it's gonna be about murking and killing someone. Might be one of them. It might be them killing one of them, their own, or somebody of color. It's gonna be that, right? Like, right? Or they're gonna center themselves in some type of movie like The Last Samurai, right? Like, that's it, right? Man, good point. And Gilgami says the movie came out during the war between the West and the Middle slash Central East. Yeah, yep, 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 yep. And Naaman says in the history books, it wasn't 300 Spartans alone. There were several hundred other Greeks, and more Greeks fought for Persia than against. Here's another part of it: the Persia of the Persia of that era was actually probably a better place and quote unquote a freer place than Greece was. That's what they don't tell you in the book and the movie. Huh? Like even the white historians have said this. Yeah, Greece, the beginning of Western civilization, yeah, great. But even the historians, white historians, have said actually, that Persia was actually not that bad, right? So that part, I remember that. The Persian community protested against the movie. I remember that. I remember that. Lawrence of Arabia, exactly. Centering themselves. Thank you, Troll. Exactly. Right. Yawn. So on that note, y'all, we'll pause right here. Let Z go live his life. We will pause right here. Once again, appreciation and apologies. Um, yeah. So we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Um, yeah, Mrs. Z, get your outro right out, Z. Um, wait a minute, yo. What's that? Oh, turbo diesel Dodge Ram. Okay, okay. Yeah, I know Z gotta have his car moment. Um, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content for the love of God. Go touch some. Well, you can't touch some grass right now. It's late just about everywhere right now. But yeah, y'all go touch some grass. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content for the love of God. Um, and yeah, so Mr. Z hopefully will come back to y'all with a stream maybe tomorrow, maybe. And yeah, so like I said, appreciation and apologies. And yeah, we'll pause right there. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.